Dear students, very good morning. Myself, Professor S.G. Bhagwat, Computer Science Coordinator. Welcome back to Management Engineering subject. We were studying about planning. There are limitations to effective planning we will study today. Question is, we know understood about planning. Now we will understand about limitations. What are the limitations? First one is planning is costly. Planning is costly. Because heavy costs involved in planning, small, medium concerns find it difficult to make comprehensive plans. Since these concerns are already short of capital, it is difficult for them to spare money for collection of informations, forecasting, developing alternatives, and appointing experts. We should have a big cost. So planning is costly. Next one, planning is time consuming process because planning requires too much of time and decision make too much of time for decision making and may get delayed, especially where immediate decisions are to be taken. Time is serious limitations where prompt actions are required. In such cases, it is not possible to follow the detailed process of planning. Next, planning reduces initiatives of employees. Yes, planning tends to bring rigidity in the methods of work as employees are required to work according to the predetermined policies. It is believed that planning provides a what I call jacket for the subordinate and makes the managerial work more difficult actually. So next one is resistance to change. Yes, any resistance, any changes if you introduce, we get always resistance, oppositions. Next one is capital invested in fixed asset limits planning. The decision regarding purchase of fixed assets puts a limit or the future action as a huge amount invested in the fixed assets. The manager cannot do anything about this investment in future. It is therefore very essential the investment in fixed assets is made very carefully. Next is inaccuracy in planning. Suppose you have not planned correctly means you have planned to fail. Accuracy is not there in planning. Planning is based on forecast which cannot be accurate. Forecast relate to future which is very difficult to predict. There can only be a guesswork about what will happen in future. Similarly, statistical data on which plans are based may be wrong. What I call future very uncertain and there are many factors which uncontrollable. Similarly, wrong assumption by the planner because his incompetency or error in judgment can result in inaccurate planning and what I call it may lose together. No perfect assurance can be given by planning for further risk and uncertainties. So inaccuracy will be there in planning. This is one of the limitations. Next one, planning is affected by external limitations. What are the external limitations? Can you guess? Planning is also affected by certain factors which are not within control. The factors political, social, economics, technological, political situation, all these things, the various policies of government may make plans of business concerns work less strong or trade unions also like that way. Okay, so planning is affected by external limitations also. Next is steps in planning. What are the steps involved in planning? First, if you observe this, being aware of opportunity in light of the market computation, what customer want, what's our strengths and our weaknesses. That to identify that thing is what I call this is a first step. First step that I call it as being aware of opportunities. Awareness of opportunities in environment, both external and as well as internal. Am I correct? Next, at this stage, managers tend to create a foundation to develop their plans for the next planning period. This means being aware of customers' needs, market, competition, strengths, weaknesses, everything they should know. First, so it is called being aware of opportunities. First step is being aware of opportunities. These are the steps in planning. Second step is nothing but establishing objectives. There, what he says, setting objectives or goals. What is our goal? That should be set first. Establishing a specific objective is second step of planning. Here major objectives are broken down into individual objects. Okay, this implies establishing what we want to be, what we want to accomplish. Okay, everything at the highest level. Okay, what I call at the highest level of management, this is done through vision and mission building. Vision and mission building. Next step is considering planning premises. In what environment, internal or external, will our plans operate? Okay, there are three types of planning premises. First one is internal and external premises. Internal premises include what I call sales, forecast, policies, programs, etc. Where external premises, I can say groups, business environment, factors, and all. Then second point, three type of premises I told. First one is internal and external premises. Second one tangible, non-tangible. Tangible premises are which quantitatively measured. Examples population growth and all. Okay, then intangible, okay, cannot be measured. Political stability, sociology factors and all. Next one, controllable and non-controllable premises. Controllable, some of the planning premises are controllable. Example, companies, advertising agency, okay, that all these things. Next is determination of alternatives. So I say identifying alternatives. What are the most promising alternatives to accomplish our objective? That should be identified. Next, comparing alternatives in light of goal sort. Which is best suitable to us, we have to identify that things. Which alternative will give the best chance of meeting our goals at the lowest cost and highest profit? Our main thing is cost should be lowest and profit should be highest. So choosing an alternative, selecting the course of action we will pursue. Then formulating supporting plans, such plans to buy equipment, buy materials, etc. Then numerizing plans by making budgets. Develop such budgets as okay, volume, price. Develop such budgets like okay, necessary of plans, expenditures, and all. Okay, these are all I call it as steps. Okay, steps of planning. Next heading is next very important question is decision making. What is that decision making? Anybody can think? Yeah, what is decision making? How do you identify the means? How do you say? How do you define what is decision? Definition. The word decision has been derived from the Latin word decider, which means cutting off. The decision involves cutting off alternatives between those that are desirable and those are not desirable. Decision is a kind of choice, decide desirable alternative. A few definitions I can say, like Ray A. Killian, he says decision in its simplest forms is selection of alternatives. Selection of alternative. Decision is nothing but selection of alternatives. Other person, Dr. T.J. Glove, says choice of calculated alternatives based on judgment. Based on judgment, calculating alternatives. Next, George R. Terry, he says decision making is the selection based on some criteria from two or more possible alternatives. Two or more possible alternatives. Next, decision making process. I want to take a decision. They should have some processes. That process is shown in this figure, you see. First one, what is this? Specific objectives. Objective should be very clear. Suppose you want to achieve what is your objective, that should be very clear. Then only you can find the things. The need for decision making arises in order to achieve certain specific objectives. Starting point is that is. A starting point in any analysis of decision making involves the determination of whether a decision needs to be made. Second one, problem identification. Problem is what? A question which needs a solution. A good decision dependent upon the recognition of right problem. The objective of the problem identification is that if the problem is what I call preciously and specially identified, that is very important. It will provide a clue in finding a possible solutions. Problem can be identified clearly. Okay, then next for search for alternatives. A problem can be solved in several ways. However, all the ways cannot be equally satisfying. Will you agree my point? Therefore, the decision maker must try to find out the various alternatives available in order to get the most satisfactory result of the decisions. A decision maker can use several sources for identifying alternatives. His own past experiences, practices, followed by others' experiences, books, what we learned, using creative techniques, he can identify the problems and search for alternatives. Next, evaluation of alternatives. After the various alternatives are identified, the next step to evaluate them and select one that will meet the chosen criteria. The decision maker must check proposed alternative against limits, and if any alternative doesn't meet them, he can discard. Having narrowed down the alternatives which require serious consideration, the decision maker will go for the evaluating how each alternative may contribute towards the objective supposed to be achieved by implementing decisions. Next is choice of alternatives. The evaluation of various alternatives present clear picture to how each one of them contribute to the objectives under question. A comparison is made among the likely outcomes of various alternatives and the best one is chosen. That's called choice of alternatives. Next is action. Once the alternative selected, it is put into action. The actual process of decision making ends with the choice of alternative through which objectives can be achieved. Results. When decision is put into action, it brings certain results. The results must be correspond with the objectives, starting point of decision process. If a good decision has been made and implemented properly, thus results provide indications whether decision making and implementation is proper. So these are all the steps we should identify for decision making. Okay. Okay, wish you all the very best. Study well.